If you're not ready to uncover the truth, my dear follower, I advise you not to turn this page. Do you know what's worse than death? It's the truth waiting for you inside. It was one of the quietest nights, with a full moon in the sky, seemingly closer to Earth. That night, the moon decided to defy the laws of nature and draw near to the Najad Plateau. Meanwhile, the stars adorned the sky with their brilliance, as if they wanted to witness what was about to happen the next day, precisely at 12:01 p.m. A black SUV stops in front of a gate, and out steps Hashim, holding several bags he had just bought from the store. He walks a few steps toward his house, takes out the key, and unlocks the door.
Darling, I'm back. Where are you?
He called out. No reply came. The house was unusually empty, making him question her absence. As he stepped inside and confirmed she wasn't there, he began to wonder why she was gone. Suddenly, his phone rang. The call was from Balkis. He answered and was greeted by her sweet, familiar voice.
Hello, my love. I called to tell you something important. Your daughter and I miss you.
Are you still insisting on talking to her?
He asked with a playful tone. Balkis didn't appreciate his sarcasm.
Do you think I'm crazy? Most studies confirm that a mother can sense her child even while it's still in her womb. Would you like to know what your daughter says about you?
What does she say?
She says you're the best father any daughter could ever have.
Her imaginary words brought a gentle smile to Hashim's face. Losing his parents in a tragic car accident as a child had left him yearning for a family of his own. When Balkis told him she was pregnant, he felt immense joy. From that day onward, he developed a strange habit. He would lie beside his wife, gently place his hand on her growing belly, and whisper to the unborn child late into the night. He made promises of safety and protection, vowing to always be there. As Hashim walked into the kitchen, he continued his conversation with Balkis while organizing the groceries he'd brought home.
Where are you, Fatty? I came home and you weren't here.
At the hospital, the doctor advised me to keep walking until the very last moment to make labor easier. She also mentioned something else that might help, hearing sweet words from my husband instead of his constant teasing.
Isn't it enough that I sometimes call you my little balloon?
Balkis laughed, though she admitted she didn't particularly enjoy the nickname. Despite this, she insisted he flatter her, though Hashim struggled with expressions of affection. He loved her deeply, with the kind of love a prisoner feels for freedom. But growing up in a conservative Eastern society, he had learned to hide his emotions behind humor. Balkis, however, was no ordinary woman. She had an intuitive understanding of men, knowing they were like migrating birds. They often craved change and adventure. From the beginning, she made sure to be more than just a wife. She became his mother, sister, friend, doctor, and even his partner in mischief.
Did your boss approve your leave?
She asked.
Surprisingly, yes. What do you say we celebrate by walking together?
Come, you'll see plenty of beautiful girls here.
Balkis, believe me, no one compares to you, he replied.
Later, Balkis grew tired and sat on a public bench after walking for some time. The night passed, and she didn't notice the walking path emptying until she realized she was alone. She reached for her phone to check the time, only to find it dead. The battery is drained. I need to head home before Hashim gets worried, she whispered to herself. As she started crossing the main road, she failed to notice an approaching car speeding toward her. Attempting to avoid the collision, Balkis struggled under the weight of her pregnancy. Wrapping her arms around her belly, she closed her eyes and braced herself for the inevitable. At the last moment, she felt a strong hand pull her back. Opening her eyes, she found herself safely wrapped in Hashim's arms.
Are you okay?
He asked, concern evident in his voice. Shaken, it took her a moment to respond.
I'm fine, but my stomach hurts and I feel wet down there.
Hashim quickly checked under the streetlight and saw that her legs were soaked with blood. Balkis was only 6 months pregnant, but the shock of the near accident seemed to have triggered premature labor. Hashim rushed her to the hospital, where she was immediately taken into surgery. The doctor, Hanin, approached him later with papers.
These are hospital forms, Mr. Hashim. They state that we may need to terminate the pregnancy if necessary to save the mother's life.
Hashim was devastated. His mind flashed back to the nights he had spent talking to his unborn child, promising eternal safety. Now, he faced the unbearable reality of possibly losing her. With a heavy heart, he signed the papers. Hours later, the doctor approached him with a smile.
Your wife and daughter are both fine. The baby will need to stay in the hospital's incubator for a while, but she's doing well.
Hashim raced to Balkis's room, his heart filled with joy. Seeing her asleep from exhaustion, he sat quietly by her side, tears streaming down his face. When she finally opened her eyes, the first thing she asked was,